Hi folks, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Payal and I am a traveler who also loves to meet people. And I think a blend of both is where this concept of melting pot has come about. In my Melting Pot series, I will be talking to lots of inspiring people from different parts of the world and also from different cultures, whom I meet during all my travels. The common factor between these folks will be the desire to follow their passion and make it a way of life. So step into this melting pot and enjoy the chats. Hi everyone, I'm back with another episode of A Melting Pot, and once again I'm still in Chiang Mai and I'm interviewing the lovely K-Lin. She has so much to talk about. She's such an interesting person, and I can't wait to start this conversation with her. So Hi, K-Lin.
Hello, Payal. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time off to talk to me. And a couple of nights ago, had this absolutely incredible meal at your restaurant, and so I can't wait for you to share more about that. But normally, what I do with all my guests is that I first like to know, and I'm sure my listeners do too. So before I go any further into this conversation, I just want to let the listeners know that we're actually sitting by the river. So you may hear, boats passing by and all of that. So just ignore it. And let's just focus on K-Lin and forget about what's happening in the background. Tell us, about you.
Firstly, hi, Payal. Thank you for having me on Melting Pot. I like that name.
Thank you.
And I'm a true Singaporean.
Okay.
Born, bred, lived all my life in Singapore.
Okay.
So I didn't even go overseas or, for a stint or to study or anything like that. And so moving to Thailand or in Chiang Mai was a big leap of faith. So how everything started was when I was doing a little bit of a teaching stint in Catholic Junior College.
Okay, in Singapore. Okay.
So before teaching, I was actually an investment banker.
Oh my God, okay, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, so after graduation, it was banking.
Okay.
And so to be honest, banking money was good, but I found something missing in life. So it was still in that part of like searching for something that just, I couldn't figure. And I don't know what happened, but I thought I would try teaching. Mom's a teacher.
Okay.
So I thought, so went into NIE.
Okay.
Loved economics.
Okay.
So started teaching in a junior college.
Okay.
And that's when I met a nun.
A nun?
A nun.
Okay.
She is actually an IJ nun.
What's IJ?
Convent of the Holy Infant Jesus, CHIJ.
Okay.
So they are teaching nuns. Their ministry is teaching.
Okay.
So she came to visit the college.
Okay.
And I happened to bump into her, and she was just telling a few of us, what she does back in north of Chiang Rai.
Okay.
So this is Chiang Mai. This is north of Chiang Rai.
Right.
And I found it quite interesting.
Yeah.
So at that time, I think now as well, all students need to do like 40 hours of community service work.
Right.
Yes?
Right. Yeah.
So I thought, why not take the kids up for a trip?
Right.
And this would probably just kill the 40 hours at a shot. So quite convenient, right?
Yeah.
Convenient for them, convenient for me.
Yeah.
And so we arranged a trip and then started by taking the first batch of students up to the center. And it kind of changed my life, changed their lives. And this became...
So what is it that you were doing? What was the community service?
So that center caters to 17 mainly Hmong village hill tribes. Okay. So in the north of Thailand, we have a lot of different hill tribes.
Okay.
You have the long neck ones, I'm sure you've heard of.
Yeah.
Right? The Karen long necks.
Yeah.
So Hmongs are one of the other marginalized hill tribes in the north.
Okay.
So they look after 17 villages. Father, this priest and sister.
Right.
So what this center primarily does is take in the poorest of the poor kids.
Okay.
They started off small, so about 30 kids, and eventually with help and financial aid, they could take up to 70 or 80 kids per year.
Okay.
And then what we do is, the idea is the center will see them through education, take care of all their schooling needs, etc.
Okay.
And then hopefully when they grow up, they inculcate the right values
Right.
in their respective villages, and then this perpetuates.
Right. Right.
So when we bring our Singaporean students up,
Right.
is to just see another different world.
Yeah.
The perspective
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Which you don't really see in Singapore.
you probably don't understand the word poverty
Yeah. Yeah.
until you go up there, and then you realize what is poverty.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, we throw apples away. We cut them and then it turns brown. We throw them away.
Yeah.
So a big treat for these kids would be when we go up and we buy each of them an apple, which they get to eat once a year when we are there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you know, things that we take for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just slaps you in your face, and it's a big wake up
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
And so subsequently, this work that I did started spreading,
Okay.
and other convent schools hopped on,
Okay.
and some non-Christian schools also hopped on.
Right.
It's a social initiative.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It was never meant to be part of religion per se.
Right.
And so it became quite a constant thing. So we had March holidays, June holidays, September holidays, December holidays. Every week, I would arrange for one school to be up there.
Okay.
And every time when they go up, prior to going up, it will be a little bit of a mini project. Like, okay, if they need, let's say, just plastic cupboards,
Right.
shelves,
Right.
then they raise funds, they do whatever that needs
So
to
the
be done.
kids have to
The
raise.
Singaporean kids will
have
do
to
their
raise.
part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And at the same time, also plan activities when they are up there.
Yeah.
Could be a small English lesson, could be an art and craft.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it all, both parties would do a little concert with the Singaporean kids.
Together.
Yes.
So it would be like a combined
Yes,
thing.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And that's usually the program and how things work. And
And how long would you bring them here for?
a week.
A week.
Usually a
Okay.
week.
Okay. Okay.
Usually
Yeah,
a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is totally different as well, because they'll be sleeping in the hostels,
Right.
but they will visit the villages.
Right.
So if you go to the village, it's a mud hut, a small mud hut, and then there's a raised platform like this table here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's where everybody sleeps. And then next to it is the kitchen, everything in one square.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
They build a fire there, they cook there, they sleep there, and toilets and outhouse. So the adventurous students might spend a night with the people in the villages.
So did you find that that some of the students wanted to do it?
Yes, some
I
of the
mean,
students.
it came from within.
I actually could categorize
Yeah.
into 3 categories, the students that go up. It's very clear.
Yeah.
It either touches them in a big way,
Yeah.
and when they come back, they're totally changed.
Yeah.
They realize how privileged they
They
are.
are. Yeah.
A group where it's just part of the community service. So,
Right.
they've gone there, been there, done that, that's
Right.
it.
Right.
And a group where they will look at it from outside like, this is another world. It is not my world. It will never be part of my world. And they just look at it from outside lenses. So basically, you would see the 3 categories. And when you come back, you kind of know which category they fall into. Yeah, it's like...
So did you have any students who came back to you and said, "Oh, like K-Lin, we want to do this again"?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there are students who graduated.
Okay.
So respectively in their universities or amongst their group of friends,
Right.
even colleagues,
Right.
they will arrange for an event or an outing to go up on their own,
Right.
raising funds and doing whatever they need. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically giving back.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, if it has touched them in a big way,
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of leaves an impression, and you would think of giving back.
Right.
Yes.
So then, how did you decide to uproot yourself from Singapore? And because you were already connected with, giving back. So, like, why did you uproot yourself? And you have 2 kids, I understand.
Yes, correct.
So, and then kind of just bring your kids over and say, okay,
The
here we
kids-
go. We start a new life.
The kids are very much part of this work that I have been doing.
You're listening to a fusion of stories recounted for the first time ever by some fascinating people from across the globe with me, Payal, on this very unique and special podcast series, Melting Pot.
So because of immunity up there, it's quite, the sanitization, the health, the water is not that, my mom gets a little bit worried.
Yeah.
So I made it a point when they turn 1, so they're bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
I start taking them up with me.
Yeah.
So usually we would spend the whole December holidays here.
Okay.
Or in the center rather, not in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
And the kids see that way of life. So they are pretty much part of this thing, and it's part of them as well, I suppose, right?
So it's their journey as
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Yes. And so like for them, what they would do is they have their piggy banks.
Yeah.
So that's the savings that they start in the beginning of the year and they bring up at the end of the year
Okay.
to buy the apples or, whatever they feel that there's a need, or we give them the direction for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything they will, the impact is there, I would say.
Yeah.
Because eventually throughout the course of the year, you would hear them, the koko and tsetse, they don't have this, and they can make that kind of comparisons.
So they got influenced at a very young age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And which obviously is something that, you wanted.
Correct.
Right?
So
you wanted them to be grounded.
Yes, to be grounded.
Empathetic.
Yes. And very much aware that they are privileged.
Yeah.
In a way, comparing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, when I continued doing this, so back to myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, depends on how you look at it. I broke my bond you have to be bonded, right? Teaching, yes.
Yeah.
So I broke my bond because I felt I could do a better job teaching in the private sector.
Okay.
This is just, to be honest. Teaching in the schools.
Yeah.
I found myself with very little time devoted to teaching, which is my main purpose and my main job.
Right.
I had to do a lot of extra stuff that wasn't related to teaching per se.
Right.
So it got me a little bit frustrated. I'm absolutely passionate about economics and teaching economics. So it just frustrated me, and I figured, what? I need to go back out there.
Right.
And just teach economics.
Okay.
So back to the bank though. I had to go back to raise funds.
Yeah.
So that I could. So at that point, you would probably think my parents were a bit like
confused.
What's wrong with this girl?
Like, what is she doing?
Yes.
Make up your mind.
Yes, like, are you alright? What are you?
Yeah.
So so back to the bank for a bit, and when about probably a year and a bit after bonus, got enough funds back out, and then they started an economics school, like a tuition sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
But just specializing in economics.
Okay. And so, what ages?
So junior college, 17 and 18.
Okay.
So that was my first business that I ventured into, and I just continued doing that work, right? Even though I left,
right?
So a lot of my own initiative, and then at that time with my banking colleagues and whatnot, and so this was basically so first year we were at the center was about 2008.
Okay.
2008.
Yeah.
And when I left college was about 2000. Oh gosh, my timelines.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, so
not important.
2008. Yeah. So when I left junior college, it was quite fast, but about 2010. Okay. So I started my school about 2010. Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
But I continued. So this went on all the way until the sister at the center and father.
Right.
The two pioneers who started the center. Father was delegated to do some other work further north to set up a church. Okay. And sister, because she was getting old, it's very rough, the conditions there.
Yeah.
So she was posted back to Bangkok.
Okay.
And at that point, the relationship kind of stopped.
Right.
Because I didn't know the new people, and it was sister and father that I was close to. So I just stopped doing that.
Right.
And this would be probably about 2013.
Okay.
14. Yeah, around there.
Okay.
And then that was a point where after the school, I also started another business in training,
Okay.
ventured into some NLP stuff as well,
Okay.
and training adults in economics
Okay.
and finance. And then I started another business on the side. So it was quite a few things going on at the same time. Property investment,
Okay.
but mainly education based as well. I like the education bit, right?
Right.
And so that went on for a bit, and then it reached a point in time when I said, okay, I want to retire. And my aim was to retire before my dad retired.
Okay.
So he retired at 45
Right.
or 43, I can't remember. But so
Right.
I had this goal in my head that, okay, 40 is when I'm going to cut off.
Right.
So it was 2013, 40. Born in 1973, so 2013 I was 40, and I said, okay, I'll just let everything go.
Right.
Now, I just don't want people to have the impression that retire means I've got I'm
Luxurious,
sitting on a mountain and I can do that.
Yeah.
I was okay,
Yeah.
but it was also a very much concerted decision that I can't let all these things go.
Right.
Now, bearing in mind, I still have 2 kids
Yeah.
at that point in time, still in primary school. So
Right.
it was, like I said, a big leap of faith that, that
Yeah.
I would do this. And I thought, okay, and then I can do more giving back.
Right.
But at that point, it wasn't clear what this giving back would be.
So you were still at that stage where you were, discovering what the next phase in your life
Yes,
was going
correct.
to entail.
But, okay,
Yeah.
but you see, this rat race just never ends.
Yeah.
And I found myself that, okay, I have more and more and more money.
Yeah.
1 house becomes 2 houses, 3,
Yeah.
1 car goes bigger, 2 cars. And
But it's all material,
yes,
right?
and where am I going with this?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when do I stop? 10 cars, 20 cars, 30
Yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
right? And again, I had that feeling again where something's empty inside again. I felt like a fish out of water, sort of like, what am I doing, right? So when I made that decision, I figured, okay, I'll have time. We'll go
Right.
figure out.
Right.
Kids need to be taken care of course, and then we'll see how that goes, right? So why I am in Chiang Mai, in particular, not just Thailand, but Chiang Mai, although I had that link, like you said, long ago, but why Chiang Mai? Because
Yeah.
that center is not here.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, everything happens for a reason. So Chiang Mai chose me. It wasn't I chose Chiang Mai. The options then, so the property investment company that I did mainly dealt in Australian property.
Okay.
So I started having a lot of links with Australia as well. So when
Right.
time to make that, let's semi-retire or, retiring in Singapore is almost impossible.
Yeah.
If you are not working, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you don't have a certain
Yes.
amount of money stashed away.
Not certain, but a huge
A
amount
lot
of
amount
money
of-
stashed away is not an option. So you
Yeah.
think of other options, and at that time, it was like Australia or Thailand. So because of these 2 links that are kind of started already. And after a while, we thought Australia would be tough. I would end up being the helper of the kids, right?
Yeah.
If they're old enough, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But I'll probably end up cooking, cleaning for them all day long, and I feel, and not that cheap after all as well. So not that I gravitated towards Thailand, but my sister-in-law was working with Property Guru in Singapore at that time.
Okay.
And then I think smack during that couple of months, Property Guru launched the so-called Property Guru Thailand.
Okay. Okay.
And she said, hey sis, go take a look. Now we have a Thailand portal and all that.
Right.
So I popped up at a Thailand portal, and it's really strange. But this house popped up. They have like the top featured things.
Yeah.
And this house popped up right in my face, and immediately struck the chord with me. And this is the house I'm going to retire in. So seriously, at that point in time, I had no clue where this house was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because when we go up to the center, they had the girls' hostels, the boys' hostels.
Yeah.
And then there's a very kind lady from Bangkok
Okay.
who supported this center a lot financially.
Okay.
And then they gave her this corner part of the land
Right.
at the center, and she built this beautiful wooden house.
Right.
Teak wood.
Right.
Like this
Yeah,
restaurant, right? This
yeah.
traditional Lana classical Thai
Right,
house.
right.
So every time we visit, or I visited with the kids, we stayed in this house.
Ah.
So it had an emotional
Yeah,
attachment,
yeah.
and it looks like a very typical Lana style Thai house.
Okay.
And then
So can you very, very quickly, because there'll be listeners from all over the world who may not know what a Lana style is.
Okay.
So stay tuned for part 2 of K-Lin's chat with me.
We were featured on the Michelin Guide Thailand, so that means our food's in the right direction.
Yeah,
Although,
Yeah, and it's northern Thai food, right? Until